Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys have been well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lungy Love and I would love if you would subscribe to my channel down below. I hope you guys are having a safe lockdown. If you're in New Zealand and Australia, you can see I'm in my comfortable zone. I'm literally in bed, like my pillows are right here and like my blankets right here. To film this in like a place where I felt comfortable, so that you watching this, you feel comfortable as well, that you feel like this is a safe. As you guys already know, I love to talk a lot. I'm a bit of a chatterbox now by the title of this video. I asked you guys on Instagram over here, what are some topics or some things that you would like my opinion on, or you just want an opinion on. It could be something like really, I guess, like controversial, political, or personal. Just honestly anything and everything that you just have always wanted an opinion on, and I'm gonna give that to you. Not a professional, I'm just speaking on like my personal life. And okay, the first one, thoughts on life now compared to when you were younger, like about being an adult. Like, adult life is it's just a lot of work. Like, I honestly wish while we were in high school they taught us things about being an adult, like finances and housing and just like basic things that we're supposed to know as adults. I wish they taught these things in high school than what X times Z means, because I still don't know, and I still don't think it's relevant today. Your thoughts on Squid Games? Girl, your reel had me in fits. It was a green light for me. The director actually pitched the idea of Squid Games back in 2009, I think, and it got declined because they were like, no, it's not gonna do well. And what do you know, years later it's finally on Netflix and it's literally the biggest movie out right now, and I think it's one of the biggest movies ever to air. Of course, like the killing parts were a bit too much for me. The movie has drawn a lot of people in because it's just so different to any other movie that we watched. Like, it wasn't like predictable. It was, everything was just like, there was always a shocking moment one after the other. Would love to hear your thoughts on hate within our poly community. I don't think I've experienced hate within the poly community to really speak on it. Started on social media, like YouTube especially. Like, I started on this platform just in time polytube started on Instagram, and now it's so big and it's helping a lot of polys out there with social media and businesses, small businesses. Poly community at this moment are starting to build something, and we're starting to really come together and portray our talents and portray our businesses, and we're at a stage now where the world is starting to like recognize us through like polytube and poly businesses, and just everybody hyping each other up. So I feel like the more we do that, the more the world is gonna, you know, recognize us. So fingers crossed, no hate, and more encouragement and support of one another, because us polytubers and poly businesses really need it. So yeah, if you can follow any poly businesses and things like that, or creators on social media, definitely do so and really just push to get our names out there, because polys are so underrated. Like, we can do things that the world can do and almost better. So do you think COVID is real? Lol. Just like hearing everyone's different opinions. Oh my gosh, guys, this one was asked a lot. What is real? Like, you know, there's people that have lost their lives to COVID. What's your opinion on online dating? I think I've mentioned this on my Instagram, but I downloaded Tinder. It was the most weirdest thing. Like, I remember telling my sisters, oh my gosh, literally Tinder is like online shopping for like a boyfriend. And it's kind of like addictive, like when you're on it, because you're just like swiping and you're like, oh, this guy is cute, he's not, like that. It gets quite addictive, because you're like, you're thinking you're gonna meet like the right person. In reality, most of the people on there are just like creeps and just want to like take you home. Again, I like meeting people like the organic old school ways, so that's just me, but it definitely can work, just not for me. Honestly, go for it. Like, we're living in a world where you can actually find a boyfriend on the internet. Be safe, because yeah, it can be really dangerous on there as well. So your feelings with the lockdown, I don't know. That's it. I don't know how I feel about this lockdown, because I feel like we've been in it for so long that I'm so used to it now. And you know, whenever the COVID updates come up, I'm just like, it doesn't even faze me anymore, because I'm like, we're just gonna be stuck here for life. Like, why don't you talk about your work-life experience? Which is your favorite job? Okay, my favorite job definitely was my first job, which was working with kids. So I was studying to be a teacher, and then I stopped so I can work full-time and help out at home. I was working for a after school and holiday before school program. Just like the kids, I miss the kids so much, but my work experience has been really diverse. After that, I honestly was just like stuck, because I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, all I know is kids. I was like, okay, let me get my feet wet and like anything and everything. And when I tell you, I was trying out different jobs. Like, I was temping at like a freight company, and then I was like working casual in a factory for like cereal. What was right for me and like what got me excited to go to work. And then after like a whole 2 months of just trying out different jobs, I eventually found the job that I'm at now, in customer service. And customer service really can get you so far in like anything and everything in the work industry. So if you don't work, or you're wanting to change your work field, I highly recommend maybe working in somewhere that involves customer service, because you really build on your like social skills, and that was something that I really lacked on. Someone said Jacinda Ardern. I think she's good. Like, at first I really liked her because of the way she just dealt with like difficult situations. See, I feel like she's done such a good job with New Zealand. At the moment, I'm not too sure with how she's really like pushing for everyone to get vaccinated. Of course, you need to get vaccinated to survive and help everyone. At the end of the day, it's your choice. There is freedom of choice, and I feel like we don't have that anymore. And she seems like a cool person. Like, she seems like if I saw her down the road, I'd be like, hey Jacinda. Hey girl, what are your thoughts on people that are not Samoan getting the malu? Holy damn, I don't know much about the malu. Like, I pretty much just know the basics. Genuinely don't know, and that's really sad of me not to know. My opinion, I feel like the malu is very sacred to our culture. It is something like, as soon as you put it on your body, it's not just like a regular tattoo, like a let me just pop a butterfly on my shoulder. It's like, once you stamp that tattoo on your legs, it holds a lot of significance to our Samoan culture, especially our history and our ancestors. And if I'm being honest, like, if I was to see a malu on someone that wasn't Samoan, I would kind of feel weirded out about it. I could be wrong. You know, maybe people can get it, but this is just my opinion. If you're not Samoan and you're gonna get it, I feel like you need to really get rooted into like some sort of class that explains, one, the significance of it, why you get it, who gets it, the whole history about it. Not even just like people that are not Samoan, but like if you're Samoan as well. Thoughts on the Megala, and who was your favorite? What I love about the Megala is it's just weird. Like, I feel like the outfits are like, the weirder the better it is, or the better it looks if it is weird looking. Like, here's one. My favorite wasn't weird, it was actually elegant and beautiful, and that was Kendall Jenner. Vaccine, thoughts on that? Of course, I've got that so many times. I'm gonna say this straight up, it's freedom of choice. It's your body, and you need to know what is going into your body. Definitely go and get it if you're wanting, you know, to save the world and save those around you. But at the end of the day, don't feel forced to do something that's going into your body. The pros and cons of social media for teenagers. This one, I think I could take a whole different video on just that topic alone. Pros definitely is just communication, like using it to communicate with loved ones in a different country or something. But if I think about teenagers using social media today, the cons outweigh the pros. When you're a teenager, that is your time to be a teenager, or to go have a sleepover with your friends and dance around in your pajamas. That's when you're starting to like find out who you are, and like you start to notice your personality. You're just on your phone all the time, and you're seeing different people's lives. You know, you start to compare your life at such a young age. So invested in portraying something they're not on social media, and everybody does that, even adults do that. But when you're doing it as a teenager, it's not good. When you're seeing things like that as a teenager, you're like, okay, well, I can do that. Oh, well, I can do this. You're a teenager. You shouldn't be having to compare at that age. I feel like social media should like create some sort of like age restriction where like asks for like actual permission or something like that, so that teenagers can like live instead of scrolling through, you know, Instagram and comparing their lives to women that are much older and successful, and thinking that's what they're meant to be doing and that's what they're meant to look like. You're still developing at that age. So first red flag in a relationship. First red flag in a relationship is communication. Because if his communication is bad in the beginning, it's gonna get worse. Or if anything, you're gonna get used to the bad communication and think it's healthy when it's actually not. I'm so big on, if he wants to talk to you, make the time and make you a priority and actually speak to you. What's your thoughts on having your life figured out after high school? Sis, I don't even have my life figured out at 25. You know what I think the problem is people have put a stamp time limit on your life. By 20, you should have met someone. By 25, you should be married. By 27, you should have your first child. Gotten so used to like a timestamp of life when there shouldn't be a timestamp. Like, everybody's different. Everybody experiences life early. After high school, you may have ideas of what your life would be like. No, to have your life, you know, perfect after high school. If anything, high school is a test. Do you think this generation is too sensitive? Yes. Growing up, I think especially in a Polynesian home, you're used to like brutal honesty. So you kind of grow thick skin. In life, it's always been like a lot of jokes here and there. So when all of the sensitivity started happening, it was really hard for me to adjust to, because even though I am sensitive, I'm used to it. But like now it's just overly sensitive, where like if someone was to make like a simple joke on social media, it's like, oh my gosh, it's such a massive ordeal, and everyone's attacking and bullying, and devil loves separation. He loves division, and he's really working so hard in this generation, and it really shows with how sensitive it is and how they try and separate themselves and separate this community and cancel this community and cancel out this person. Why do you believe in God? I could do like a whole video on this, but why do I believe in God? I'm gonna break it down to like 2 points, just so that I can get my message across, because this I can speak on for hours. 2 points. So the first one is why I chose to believe in God on my own, and not because I was born into and raised by a Christian family. As a teenager, I don't know how old I was, but for some reason I became really like emo, and like I was obsessed with gothic, or like with goths and like gothic behavior. So at one point, me and my best friend had like a friendship book, and like she had her section of like cute aesthetic things, and then my section was just filled with like death and like blood and darkness. It was bad. I did go through a phase like that, to the point where I didn't become atheist, but I didn't really believe in God. I was so obsessed with this that I was like, I kind of like this idea of darkness and things like that. So it wasn't that I didn't believe in God. I was just like, let me believe in like devil things. When I went through that, it was like a turning point where I was like, actually I don't like this, you know, it's not for me. And long story short, I turned to the light. Thank God I did. I turned to the light, and that was the first time I actually chose on my own to believe in God. Not because I grew up in a church or my family told me how good God was. I did it for myself. I chose at that point to believe in God for myself. So that was one. And two, why I believe in God is my own testimony. I think testimonies are very vital, because that's your story, and to like speaking to non-believers and believers about why you believe in God and how good God is. And my testimony, long story short, is I've always experienced really bad anxiety. I've always been like a very anxious person. I still am, but I just deal with it better now. So yeah, very bad mentally, like my thoughts it can just get very dangerous. I really overthink, like not overthink things. When in my life I hit like a really bad point. It's just nothing that gave me any peace of mind to be able to live every day. There was nothing really pushing me to wake up and want to live life. I just had no peace of mind. And when I tell you guys that I tried anything and everything, like I even tried crocheting, I tried knitting, I tried anything and everything that would just help my mind to have peace. Nothing was working, when I tell you. And I knew turning to God would be an option, but I left it at the back. I was like, that is going to be my last resort, because I was just like, nah, I don't think it will. I tried running. Guys, when I tell you I tried anything and everything, nothing was giving me peace of mind during this hard time. And when I tell you, one day after watching Bondi show, I was like, let me just read the Bible. Let me start there. Let me just try it. I read through Genesis. I've read it so many times already, but I read through chapter 1 and 2, and guys, I'm not even lying. It was just like a click in my head where I felt peace, but my body felt peace, my mind felt peace, and I just felt the Spirit of God with me. And after that, I didn't turn back. If you want to know more about my testimony, message me, we can talk about it. But those are my two main points. What is something you believed in growing up that is actually not real? The moon. My neighbor told me that Mother Mary and her kids lived in the moon. So when you look at the moon and there's like patches in there, she told me that the family lived in that moon. The patches was a family, and every night we would sit outside and we'd look at the moon and be like, oh my gosh, look at them having dinner. I was lied to. On My Block season 4. It was good, but it wasn't what I was expecting. It didn't end the way I hoped it would. Is it good to be strict parents? Parents were strict my whole life. Is it good? I think it's good to an extent. Something we need to do better at when you're a strict parent is communication. Less of don't do that and more of don't do that because blah blah blah. Because I feel like as you grow up, you're just like, I've always been told it's bad, but I don't know why it was bad. So like, build a good relationship with your kids. Like, listen and talk to them about weird stuff and anything and everything. Just, yeah, communicate well. Okay, last one is tips on YouTube. Number one, just go for it. Don't even overthink it. You know, of course, there's this stigma of once you put it out there, the whole world is gonna see it. The whole world already sees you, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Don't think of YouTube as just like a bigger platform. Just think of it as like another social media, of like it's another TikTok or Instagram. And that's how I honestly treat it. It's just a place where I go to post videos of my memories, so that later on in the future I can always look back, or if I was to ever leave this earth, my family have something to watch of me, like of my life and things like that. So don't be nervous. Don't really get too into your analytics, because it can get discouraging when you're like, oh my gosh, nobody's watching it, and oh, this video didn't do so well. If you're doing this genuinely because you like it, none of that matters. And because I genuinely have a passion for YouTube, of like, I love posting things. I love when people react to my stuff and be like, it relates to them, or they see something that makes their day, or they watch a video of me and my family and they're like, oh, it gives me memories of things like that. And that's where I find my happiness, of like when it makes people happy. So don't focus too much on like having a niche of my videos have to be solely about this. You can, this is your YouTube, this is your channel, this is your platform. You can do whatever you want on here. Go for it. Like, the hardest part of YouTube, honestly guys, was starting. After that, everything else just like was fine. I was just like, I don't know why I was worrying in the first place. So yeah, just honestly do it. And it's not for famous people, it's not for people like me or people like her or people like him. It's for everybody. Like, anybody can start a channel. Like, a nobody like me can start a channel. It's, yeah, don't put too much pressure on how you're gonna be perceived. Just be yourself and just have fun with it. Yeah, guys, that is all for today's video. Thank you guys for sending through your topics. My answers and my opinions on these things helped you in any way, or helped you to see that certain topic in a whole different light. I really enjoyed chit chat videos, so definitely let me know if you want to see another one down below, or just any other videos that you want to see from me. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I hope you guys have a really good evening. Love you guys. Bye.